Good afternoon and welcome to this discussion on the nomination for parliamentary candidates for the election, for the general election that is taking place in 2021. We have seen already the nomination of the local government leaders, and now they will be followed by we have seen also the primaries of the different political parties, and now we're in two nominations. And the nominations after that, you become a candidate. In other words, now you become a subject of the Electoral Commission because you'll be working or moving according to their timetable and according to the regulations governing the elections in Uganda. But how is that going to be handled? And we know they have been changed twice, extended the days for nomination, and now the days are here. It's tomorrow, I suppose, and Friday. We'll be getting into these and much more. And we're lucky and humbled to have the chairperson of the Independent Electoral Commission of Uganda, Justice Simon Yawakama. Justice Simon Yawakama, thank you so much for giving us your time in a very tight and busy schedule I can imagine. The nomination days are here for members of parliament. I'm sure you've been working around the clock for the last couple of years, and here it is. Are you ready? Are you super ready?
Thank you very much, Patrick, and good afternoon, viewers. Certainly the commission is quite busy at this point in time, and that's why I've come in some few minutes late, and I apologize for that. I always try to make sure I keep time for these talk shows because they are very important. They give us a platform to engage with the people of Uganda and inform them of what's going on. Now, as for the process that is scheduled to commence tomorrow, yes, we are ready. We have been ready. We have been putting in place all the necessary mechanisms and infrastructure to ensure that nominations for parliamentary candidates take place across the country. So tomorrow we expect all the aspirants, flag bearers for the political parties, independent candidates, all of them to show up. I want also to appeal that all the aspirants should come ready with the necessary requirements so that you are not turned back to go and put right what is missing. So that's all I can say for now.
So you're saying that, so the days are tomorrow and the 16th. This happened because a couple of days back you had to change the nomination days. Why did you have to change?
Well, we had to change because, as you remember, we had scheduled 12th and 13th as the nomination dates. But in the week preceding those days, we received a lot of presentations from several stakeholders, including Parliament, that there was a need to adjust the period to enable the stakeholder, the aspirants, sort out various issues. I think there were issues to do with the law, that was the amendments in the law and so on and so forth. So in our quest to ensure that we afford as much opportunity to our stakeholders, particularly the aspirants, we adjusted the timetable by only about 3 days from Monday, Tuesday to Thursday and Friday. So
that is also possible that the Electoral Commission can actually maybe, work on the whims of members of parliament or those who, or even aspirants in this manner? Because I thought you are guided by the Constitution and the laws. What you say is how things should move. Because if you start, changing the dates, what happens if you even give us a polling date and they say, no, we don't want that?
No, it's not really dancing to the whims of people, but you see, we are cognizant of the challenges that COVID-19 has presented to all of us across the several aspects of life. And secondly, we are also mindful that there is one specific date which we cannot adjust, and that is the polling day. Once we set that one, I don't think it can be adjusted because it is embedded within the rigid timelines set by the Constitution of Uganda. So this is not the first time, incidentally, that we have adjusted. You remember during the display period, we adjusted the period again on request by the various stakeholders. No, not display, the update period to enable as many voters, one, the first-time voters get registered as voters, two, those who wish to transfer their voting location. We adjusted the period to be as accommodative as possible, and also to make sure that the process, the activities are as inclusive as possible. So in that regard, therefore, it was not an entirely new thing that we had adjusted
But that
timetable.
adjustment, my lord, entrenches Uganda's last-minute approach to things, because even then, because people decided to come towards the last day of the voters' register and verification and all that, we can even go back to the days of registering for national IDs.
SIM cards.
SIM cards and all that. We seem to have that culture of the last-minute approach, and the systems of government seem now to be entrenching what is wrong.
Absolutely. You see, I think that only take time for Ugandans to adjust and respect timelines. I think maybe we should, but I think we shall soon get there.
So
but for us as the Electoral Commission, Patrick, we are saying that if there is an opportunity and there is a time for us to make the necessary adjustments so as to afford everyone an opportunity or a chance to complete or to finalize whatever he or she is required to do in order to become a viable candidate or voter, we take that opportunity.
Yeah, but you know why I'm asking that, my lord, is because we have a constitution, we have a timetable, and you gave us a roadmap.
Yes.
So I just don't understand why somebody says that they are caught flat-footed, even when we know the pandemic has been with us for the last 7 months.
But I just want to say that I want to assure Ugandans that the adjustment we have made does not at all has not affected the constitutional timelines. We are still within the constitutional timelines. So
where will the exercise of nomination of candidates for parliamentary elections take place?
Yeah, it will take place, first of all, the constituencies are spread across the country. So the nominations are going to take place in the districts, each districts across the country. And it will be at the district, the designated place, either the office of the district election administrator or returning officer, or a designated place in a district. That's what we are. But so all the aspirants are already aware where they are supposed to go for nomination. So
you have your foot soldiers who speak at every designated place across the 136 districts of Uganda. As we speak of today, everything is said?
Because, as you know, Patrick, by law, the commission is supposed to have a representation or a presence in every district of the country. So every district that comes up, we must establish our presence in that area, because it is an electoral district of its own, and the law says that each district shall have a returning officer. So in every district, we have a presence.
So what is required for a candidate to be nominated, for an aspirant to become a candidate?
First of all, that person must be a citizen of Uganda and 18 years or above. Secondly, that person must be a registered voter. If you are not a registered voter, please don't bother to come up for nomination. You must be a registered voter. And thirdly, you must present evidence or proof that you have paid the nomination fee of 3 million shillings. Don't bring cash to the nomination center or a bank draft. Those are not accepted. You have to pay this fee in a designated bank or other financial institution. Now, thirdly, you must present your postcard sized copies of your recent straight color photograph. That is the straight face color photograph. Then you must come with your certified academic documents, A-level or its equivalent or higher than A-level. So please, if you do not have your academic documents in order, do not also bother to turn up. Now, if you're a public officer and you are required to have resigned from office, present evidence of resignation to that effect. The other one, of course,
the resignation should have happened when?
Well, in the case of members of parliament, a resignation should have happened 90 days before nomination.
3 months ago.
Yeah, 3 months ago. Now, the other aspect, of course, remember the law requires you to come with a list of your supporters, a list, not the physical supporters, but your supporters on the designated form which we issued to you and which you are supposed to have moved around your constituency, gathering the signatures of your supporters. So you must present. But remember, those supporters must be registered voters. If they are not registered voters, then you may not be found to have met the necessary criteria under the law. So these are some of the requirements.
So you talk about 3 million Uganda shillings. Are you sure you won't be shocked tomorrow by somebody to come with an envelope with 3 million shillings?
No, we won't accept. We shall just advise.
Have you done enough of
we shall just
sensitization?
advise. Yes, we shall just advise that aspirant that please go and pay the boss that money in the bank and bring us proof to that effect. We want to accept cash.
So in that case, what are the things that could actually make an aspirant fail to register and become a candidate?
Yeah, it is under the law, more comfortable referring to the law so that I don't appear to be speaking from my own mind or head. The law lays down the criteria by which an aspirant may not qualify for nomination. As I've said, one, if you are not a citizen, if you are not 18 years and above, if you do not have a level or its equivalent, if you are not a registered voter, all these are automatic disqualifications which do not render you eligible to get registered. But on the other hand, the law also says that you are not qualified, a person is not qualified for election as a member of parliament if that person is of unsound mind. Two, if you are holding an office related to electoral work, to elections, for example,
you're a lawyer and a judge of the High Court. Who is of unsound mind?
That's a question of evidence. It's a question of medical evidence or proof. It's a question of proof. The onus is not on us. The onus is on the person who says this person is on a sound mind to prove that evidence, to provide that. Then a traditional cultural leaders.
At the time of registration to become a candidate, you as the person who is carrying out the exercises, you cannot be able to tell.
No, you cannot tell. You cannot tell. That's why, Patrick, after nominations, what follows is what we call scrutiny of the candidate's nomination papers. Every person is at liberty every citizen is at liberty to scrutinize the candidates of the nomination papers of your candidate, of the candidate in your area or any other area. And it is up to you to point out certain anomalies to the commission. And remember, if indeed the commission is satisfied that there are anomalies within your paperwork or your papers which will not render you an eligible candidate, the commission has the powers to denominate or to reverse your nomination and disqualify you from the race.
So you have two types of contenders who are coming tomorrow. You'll have those who are supported by the parties, and there are those who are coming as independents. So how do you handle, what's the difference in terms of handling the independents aspirants and those aspirants from the parties?
There's no order. Whoever comes first will get served. There's no order at all.
Yeah, but what should an independent candidate have that is different from the parliament?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I should have mentioned, if you are a party flag bearer, you should come with a formal endorsement of your party secretary general or an authorized officer of the party, for that matter. So if you do not have that authorization or endorsement and you present yourself as a flag bearer, you will not qualify for nomination. For independent candidates, they do not have to come with any person's authorization, apart from presenting themselves with those other matters that I've alluded to earlier on.
We have had very tumultuous kind of primaries for some parties. I wonder whether you have anything, have you learned anything from the local government? Because it can also happen that two people can claim to be flag bearers of a party. How do you handle things like this to avoid problems in the near future?
Yeah, I think the first act the first call point should be for the political parties to put their houses in order and appropriately identify their flag bearers. Because as we talk now, we are delving into issues arising out of the party primaries, where the party in the first instance declares Kamara as the winner of the primary election, and then the loser petitions the party and presents evidence, whatever it is, and then the party tribunal looks at the case and says, Kamara's victory was not authentic or not correct. we therefore cancel that victory, and we declare that Simon is the correct or the rightful flag bearer of the party. Now remember what these people were originally declared, what they did, because we had opened up nominations for local government. They rushed to the nomination centers and they got nominated. So they are now our candidates. Now the party, after carrying out their internal appellate or review processes, they come up to say, we have discovered this is not the right flag bearer. Our right flag bearer is this one. But we have already nominated the other person.
But
so these are some of the
but
petitions.
If these people have been nominated and they have the endorsement that has the seal of the party, is that your concern?
Yeah, how do we come in? Of course, it's not the work of the Electoral Commission to engage or to handle matters of party primaries. But to the extent that somebody arising out of this process is already recognized by us as the flag bearer on account of the party processes that led to that, and the party has come up to say, we found there were issues with this person's victory, and now we declare the correct outcome of this party election was this person. So that's how we come in. Otherwise, it's not
I don't know why, my lord, you would come in there, especially if an aspirant has come with an authentic paper endorsing him as a party flag bearer, and you can prove that this is something that is endorsed by the party, and you have not duly nominated them. I wonder how that becomes even your problem, or you can even get into it. I think that person should continue in the process. If they want to go to court, they will sort out in court.
But we are looking to all those issues. We are looking to all those issues.
Because clearly, my lord, that's not your area.
Yeah, partly yes, and partly no. Because the party says we realize that the person whom we recommended, okay, had pending issues in our processes. Now, once we conclude all those pending issues, this is the outcome. However, that person has already moved a step ahead.
Yes,
and got nominated.
Yeah, I don't want to dwell on that, sir, but I'm asking, how does it become a pending issue if you
in their party?
Yes, how does it become a pending issue if that person presented what is required of them to have a flag bearer before you reach the nomination table?
Maybe you should put that question to the party.
Because I'm wondering, because you say, look, this person whom you're saying has pending issues, how can he have pending issues when you gave him the authorization with the party seal?
No, Patrick.
Yes.
I have said, in the principle, in the law, okay, even when you have been nominated, okay, and a complaint may arise challenging your nomination.
Yeah.
Now, it's the duty of the Electoral Commission to entertain any complaint regarding or petition regarding the nomination of any individual, irrespective of whether he has come out of party processes or not. So we are coming in because a complaint is being raised about the nomination of X. So it's in that regard that we are coming in.
You must be very busy then.
Oh, quite.
Because there were a lot of complaints.
Yeah, that's true. That's quite
so how about an independent candidate? Do they also have to choose their own logo?
No, the independent, the law says that it's the Electoral Commission which assembles the symbols, okay, the symbols, and then you come and choose from these assembled symbols which symbol that you want to go for. It's not that you come with your own symbol and say this is mine. No, the law does not state that.
Okay. You're doing the nomination amidst the pandemic. I wonder what you've been able to do to avoid the spread of COVID-19 and also have this exercise go on smoothly.
Well, we have maintained the appeal to the people, the caution that please, COVID-19 is here in our midst. And secondly, we have to observe the SOPs. And thirdly, avoid overcrowding. It's in that regard, therefore, we have totally discouraged and barred mass processions or processions on the roads in trucks and so on and so forth, motorcycle riders. No. Fourthly, we have also said that a candidate is only entitled to 2 vehicles. Okay? Remember, they require the people at a nomination center, the candidate, the nominator, and the seconder. That is all. The rest, we don't need them. You don't need to come with your 10,000 supporters. They do not add value to the process for the day. The process or the activity for the day is nomination.
I understand you've given them 10 people.
Yeah.
10 people to come at the
nomination. Not really. For what? We have said,
you
know, guidelines.
A maximum of 10.
Yes, I have said, no, we have said that a person using vehicles for the purpose of his or her nomination shall have no more than 2 vehicles in the convoy, and each vehicle shall bear police stickers and shall not carry more than 3 persons, the driver inclusive. So we are saying that a candidate, yes, you are required. Your nominator, your seconder, that's enough. We don't need your cousins, we don't need your wives, we don't need your children to accompany what for. And mind you, Patrick, we are talking of value. The value of those numbers are not on nomination day. They are on polling day. Tell them to wait for polling day and mobilize them, galvanize them in large numbers to go out and vote for you. But on nomination day, they are not necessary. And the police is going to
But my lord, the world runs on perception. When you build momentum after nomination and people have seen your convoy and how you've gone there, that alone builds some kind of feeling that we have a man and woman of substance whom they can follow. But momentum can be built from day one on nomination.
Correct, but not under the new normal. And we are saying under the new normal, that is occasioned or precipitated by the COVID-19, we have to avoid mass gatherings. We have to avoid putting our people at risk of exposure and infection from the virus. So it's just that we have to be careful. I've
just heard that in the neighborhood of Kamocha, the party headquarters of the National Unity Platform, that police raided their area. In fact, what I'm reading now is that they have taken away some of their papers, including the people who could have seconded them or come with them at the nomination day tomorrow. So they are a big contender in this town and this country in this election. I wonder whether that concerns you as the chairperson of the Independent Electoral Commission, that the day before the nomination, you have a major political opposition party, surrounded by the police.
First of all, I'm not aware of that incident or episode. So I think I would not be in position to make a fair comment or observation about it. And secondly, we have not received a formal complaint from NAP that, look, we have had this, we have this scenario, and some of the matters that we required for tomorrow have been affected, or have been either seized or interfered with. We don't have any such complaint.
Maybe we are a news organization, and our job is to give information, correct and accurate. I can tell you, my lord, that there has been a siege at the party headquarters of NUP today, and I can also tell you they have taken some of their property, and they claim what they have taken is what they were supposed to have used tomorrow in the nomination, and you are the chairman of the Independent Electoral Commission, sir. I suppose that should concern you.
Absolutely. But what the point I'm saying, that if I'm to make a fair comment before the public, I need to be armed with all the facts. First of all, I do not know under what circumstances the police or whoever is carrying out the siege has done so. Secondly, I do not know what they were looking for. Thirdly, I do not know what they have seized, because at times some of our news items, at times they lack substance and detail. So for one to make an informed opinion or view on the matter. So I think, to me, if it is correct that what has been seized is related to tomorrow's or Friday's proceedings, let NAP get in touch with us.
Okay. Yeah. So now, when they are nominated tomorrow and from aspirants, now they become candidates, do they now go into campaigns full throttle?
Oh, yes. Now, first of all, before you go into campaign full throttle, as I said, one of the things that is likely to emerge, petitions. Patrick, those ones are coming. Petitions are coming, challenging the candidature of many of these people. Mind you, by the way, even before people go to nominated, we already have running battles in the courts of law. Patrick should not be allowed to contest. He lacks this. This one committed offenses in such a year. He was sentenced by the courts of law before even nominations. Now, I want you to imagine what will happen after nominations. We are likely to have an avalanche of petitions. So we are prepared for that. But secondly, before you hit the campaign trail, you are required to work out a harmonized schedule of your campaigns as candidates so that you avoid the clash. But now, of course, and we have to be cognizant of the fact that now we are conducting campaigns largely through media platforms. So you have to work out a comprehensive program, including the media. For example, if I book any TV at 8 p.m. on such a day, then a candidate X also books at 8 p.m. Then a candidate Y books at 8 p.m. So you find now the battle of ground will be transformed, will be transferred to the studios. So we have to avoid all that. And that's why we are saying now the media, you are at the epicenter. The media are at the epicenter of this new normal as far as campaigns in these elections are concerned. So we need you to be organized. We need you to act equitably, and we need you to coordinate so that you avoid the clash of these programs of the candidates. So that's what is coming.
So in other words, the Electoral Commission, the Uganda Communications Commission, National Association of Broadcasters are supposed to be getting together. I wonder how UCC, NAB, and EC are coordinating on this issue.
Well, we have already had prior engagements, as I've told, I think, the people, I think on this channel and other. We have said that we have, from the inception of the revised roadmap, we had discussions with NAB, UCC, Ministry of Information, to work out the modalities of how these campaigns can be conducted under the new normal. And now that we are into we are into nominations, mind you, nominations for local government are concluded. So now all those are candidates for chair, LOC 5, sub-county, city division, municipality, and so on, councillors, and so on. So you have a myriad of candidates all over the country now. They will be joined. Right, yes, they will be. It's up to them. First of all, as I said, have they? But I want to advise our people. This is now. This is now October. Now, local government, your elections are taking place after presidential and parliamentary, in the first week of between 8th, 10th January and 8th February. So the choice is yours. Do you want to go into campaigns now, right now? But for us, we had to come out and conduct these nominations at the earliest opportunity, especially for local government. For local government, we have to do it early because they have the biggest number of contenders.
I understand polling is supposed to be done in the first 30 days of the last 122 days. 120 days. Absolutely, of a term of service.
Yes, Patrick.
But does that also include local government?
Absolutely.
Okay.
It also includes local government. Now, one of the things people have been putting us task for or over is, why are you keeping this date a secret? Why do you keep rolling out the same narrative between 10th in the first 30 days of 122 days, between 10th January, 8th February? It is the law. The law requires us to set and declare or announce the date for polling after nominations. The law is very clear. But some people are making a meal out of that to add to their other
So are you going to set the clear date after Friday, or are you going to wait for the presidential nominations? We
are going to discuss that as a commission and determine whether it should await the presidential nominations or parliamentary. We are going to say that. But the important thing is, I want to inform the people that the commission is not deliberately keeping this date to its chest. No, we are following the law. And secondly, it serves no purpose for us to keep it from you. We shall, at the appropriate time, inform the people of Uganda which are the polling dates. Remember, these are polling dates. One for presidential and parliamentary, one day, then local government, another day.
And the special interest groups?
Yeah, the special interest groups have been ongoing. You remember, village, parish, sub-county.
I'm talking those going to parliament.
Yeah, those going to parliament. You know, theirs is different. Theirs are through electoral colleges. Yes. It's not this...
but this will be the last to come, right?
Yes. We shall also be informing the people about those dates as well. We are going to be informing the people about those dates.
So now, talking about, polling day, and I'm thinking you must be facing quite a logistical challenge. The ballot papers that you're going to print must be in hundreds of millions.
No, it's 186 million.
186 million ballot papers?
Yes.
Who's going to handle that?
Well, we have already identified farms.
And each ballot will have a picture of
Yes,
an image.
every ballot paper is supposed
That's
to
a
have
Herculean task.
the photographs of the candidates. The candidate. Remember, it's a secret ballot. Your photograph must appear there. Your names must appear there. Your party symbol must appear there. If you're a party person or the symbol, if you of your choice as an independent candidate. So this is a Herculean task.
Isn't it very, very challenging, because you may end up having a candidate of Koboko in Kibuku and one of Kisoro in Kotido and things like that. Karangala na Kasongola.
Patrick, that is the nightmare of an election manager, to have a mismatch or a mix-up of ballot papers. That is your nightmare. Because I want you to imagine, on polling day, you discover that the ballot papers meant for an area in Bondebujo is in Amudat.
In Bududa.
Or in Bududa. On polling day. And it is one day. You get it? And that's what we've been telling people, that one of the reasons we cannot overextend some of these things is because we need ample time.
On a day like that, do you have aircraft at your disposal?
Well,
because I can imagine they will come in handy, just in case.
Yeah, just in case. We can only rely on state facilities. The commission does not have.
But do those state facilities, are they available to you for on a day like that?
I want to believe, because remember, an election is a national process, is a national program. And therefore, all the state facilities should be at the disposal of the commission to address emerging issues that need to be addressed before polling is closed. But we will do as much as possible, avoid a scenario there is a mismatch or mispacking of material. And that's why we tell people, we need to get these ballot papers in time, so that we sort out properly in time and we have a package delivered at its appropriate destination. But if there is a delay, because we kept on adjusting the nomination times for people to properly organize themselves, that is very disadvantageous.
But now, talking about that logistical challenge, and I know you've already given the job to somebody to print the ballot papers, and the people are questioning that, look, Ugandan companies, Ugandan organization had put in their bid. In fact, they had quoted lower monies to do the job. They understand the terrain. They have the local intelligence, the terrain intelligence. They can even know the names and the regions better. If they come out to say, let's do the job at even a lesser money, why didn't you give them the job?
You know, Patrick, currently there is a government policy, Bubu, by Uganda, Build Uganda.
Yes.
And the Electoral Commission fully embraces that policy.
But you didn't do this here.
Now, you know, we went through a process of bidding. We invited both international and local bidders who put in their bids. The local companies, about, I don't know how many, about 8 or 9, have not come with the details. They also put in their bids. They were duly evaluated. But they were, I think, none of them qualified in 2 respects. One, on the technical aspects of capacity, or capacity to print those ballot papers. And then 2, on the, I can tell you that without any fear of contradiction, the amounts that were bid, or the figures that were given by the local companies were far higher than the foreign companies. I wish I'd come with my presentation. I would have given you specific instances. And
so you're saying that
the local company on this particular lot, because these ballot papers are in lots, local government, presidential, parliamentary, so in lots, I would have told you, this company on this lot, they quoted this. The foreign company quoted this. And in all of them, you find, virtually all of them, the local companies quoted higher figures than the foreign companies.
So you're saying the local companies quoted more,
yeah,
and yet you also found that they are lacking in capacity, technical capacity?
Yes,
I don't understand, for people lacking technical capacity even to be asking for more.
Yeah, well, that maybe you can put that to them. But my people, our technical people, carried out due analysis and assessment of the capacity. Let me tell you, I have been informed and sensitized that printing of ballot papers is far different from printing a newspaper printing exam papers, and so on and so forth. Because of the various variables that are ingrained in a ballot paper, particularly when you come to the lower level, local government, where you find in one sub-county alone, you have so many varying ballot papers. For example, for councillors, the councillors of this parish are different from the councillors of the next parish. The councillors of this sub-county are different from the councillors and chairpersons on this sub-county or seated division are different from the other. So the variables are too many. And one of the critical things that is ingrained in ballot paper printing is the security feature. This is what we call security printing. And I'm told locally here, many of them are lacking in that aspect.
Okay, so, but of course, what do we need to do to build the issue of Bubu? Buy Uganda and build Uganda, because there is even a requirement, I think in law now, the 30% local content.
Yeah.
How much of the local content are we going to have in terms of supply to you from Uganda?
I think that one may not be exhaustively really considered at this discussion, but that is something I think we need to engage in as a country.
Because we're talking about colossal sums of money, my lord,
absolutely.
and that money is going out of the country.
Yes,
you as the chairman,
we have found ourselves no option, much as we are interested in promoting Bobo. But remember, Patrick, for you to have errors or delays in delivery of polling materials, you create a crisis in the country.
Now, talking about delays, before you came into the office which you're holding right now, there was the previous commission in the last election could not deliver electoral materials in Kampala, right here where we are. It took about 7-8 hours for electoral materials to arrive in Kawempe, in Bwaise, in all these places. And these are opposition strongholds. And have the mistakes of yesterday, are the mistakes of yesterday likely to be corrected in your commission?
Yes, first of all, I think the previous commission and even my commission have regretted that episode or incident where there were delays in delivery of polling material in some areas of Kampala. Not the whole of Kampala.
Yes, but you see, that was understood to mean that you didn't want, or the incumbent party in power, because this was not their stronghold. So as if it was intentional, my lord.
I don't know what is the basis of the people who make that kind of assertion, whether they looked at the statistics and so on and so forth. But I don't have much comment on that one. But I think, I do not know how the Electoral Commission would know that if we don't deliver materials at this polling station, then the opposition is a disadvantage. Because remember, it was not in the entire of Kampala, not the entire of Wakiso, it was just a few areas. So how do the commission get to know that in this area, this party is stronger, the other one is weaker? No, I think it was just unfortunate that
my lord, members of the commission are Ugandans.
Yes.
They know these things.
How do they know? For example, I don't know who is stronger here and who is not. For me, all I'm interested in, Patrick, as the manager of elections, one, do we have voters in this area? Yes. How many are they? There are so many. Do we have candidates in this area? Yes. How many are there? There are so many. What materials are required in that area? So many. What mechanism do we have in place to make sure we have early delivery of materials? This is what we have. But you know, some of these errors are created by human beings, and corrections are made by humans. So I want to assure the people that the commission is working around the clock to ensure that the errors or commissions that were committed, that occurred in 2016, are not repeated.
Okay. Also, the other group that we need to know, I don't know whether you have the days yet, for workers, the youth, the MPs, persons with disabilities, the older persons, members of the UPDA, when they get nominated.
Now, unfortunately, I don't have because the dates are so many, and some of these activities are quite many. But what I have here, for instance, is that as we talk now, we we have already concluded. We had voting for district and the city old person committees on
Okay.
12th,
Okay.
which was on Monday. They have already come from down there. We had the voting or polling for district and city persons with disabilities committees on 14th October, which was just, which is today. Is it today? That's right. Now, on 16th, that's a Friday. No, we have adjusted this one for city youth committees from 16th to 19th. So for voting of polling for the district and city youth committees will take place on 19th across the country, on Monday. Okay. We adjusted that because of the nominations for parliamentary candidates, which is taking place today, tomorrow and on Friday. So we thought it would be too cumbersome for our returning officers to handle the two processes on the same day. So the nomination campaigns for National Youth Council Committee will take place on the 4th to the 6th of November. So it's a series of activities. Then we shall also be informing the country, because remember, Patrick, originally the older persons were not represented in Parliament.
Yes.
But these are some of the amendments the commissioners had to contend with at short notice.
New structures.
Yes, to put in place new structures. So we shall be informing the persons who will be who will be participating in those elections for all the persons to Parliament as to when this is going to take place. So please wait for our comprehensive program. We shall let you know, and then so that you participate reasonably in those elections.
At what point do you get, the flag bearers come with the endorsement? They come on the day of the nomination, or you get to know them before the nomination?
No,
day?
on the day of nomination, because that's one of the requirements. One of the requirements, like the proof that I have paid the nomination fee, and also the proof that yes, this is I have been endorsed by the party. So all these are the requirements that you have to come with on day of nomination, not beforehand.
Okay.
Although some people, I think either they don't want to take chances, probably. I've seen them making a submission to the chairman of the Electoral Commission. I have been endorsed by the party, but I'm not the nominating officer. The chairman of the Electoral Commission is not the one is not the returning officer for parliamentary candidates. We are only returning officer. The commission is only returning officer for presidential candidates. And ours is on 4th and 6th.
I've seen many aspirants nowadays trying to swear an affidavit, change a name or add another name here and there. You're a lawyer and a judge of the High Court. What is that supposed to cure?
That thing has been controversial. People were making it appear to be a new concept or requirement by the Electoral Commission. Not at all. Section 36 of the Registration of Persons Act has been in existence since 2015, when that law came into force. And it provides the procedure and a mechanism how one can add or change a name. You see? So we are only reminding the people that, look, if you want to change or add your name, or secondly, it transpired, and this arises out of the petitions that were taken to court in the arising out of previous elections, where the courts found Patrick Kamara Musinguzi, if I may use that, okay, who appears on the National Voters Register with those names. Patrick Kamara Musinguzi.
In fact, you can actually, my other name, the village is Nyakahuma.
Patrick Kamara Nyakahuma, who is the registered voter, who is coming for nomination, who has been endorsed by the political party. But his academic papers read Patrick Kamara. Now, if you win the election, as some people did, and the opponent challenges that in court, the argument was that there is no nexus or connection between Patrick Kamara and Patrick Kamara Nyakahuma. Therefore, the person nominated did not have the requisite academic documents. Okay? So that's why the law was put in place to say, if you want to acquire another name, please, the correct procedure is this. Do it this way. So we're reminding people, because some people were knocked out of Parliament. I can recall some people were knocked out.
So including President Yoweri Museveni is trying to avoid some issues. Now that's why he's now sealing in the name of Tibahaburwa. He's now General Tibahaburwa.
I don't know that is the purpose. But but I've not yet seen his DD.
Well, I've just read the paper, and that he's now Tibahaburwa.
yes. But the point we are making, him and others, I think they are trying to avoid any glitch in their identification.
And,
vis-a-vis.
and by the way, I've just been looking at the name Tibahaburwa, and I'm thinking if it was in my language, in Rutoro, which would have been Tibahaburwa, would mean the one that cannot be advised. Looks very funny. So, but so probably they are trying to avoid a glitch.
Yes, a glitch. Yes. And you see, and you know, you remember, Patrick, the commission was really, it was projected in bad light. You are making lives difficult for people. How can you come up with this kind of thing? We only did an honorable duty of saying, wait a minute. If you have these discrepancies or disparities in your names, your opponent may, if you emerge victorious, your opponent might use these to render your victory redundant. You see, that's what we did.
So on that simple technicality, you can be knocked out.
But that's why we are going by the court decisions, because you see they are saying, you know, people can use other people's academic papers. So who is this Patrick Kamara as in relation to Patrick Kamara Nyakahuma? Are they one and the same? If they're one and the same, why didn't he take steps to create a nexus, a link between the two names and the three names? And the law is there.
So, and really names have really come out, you know, Kakurugu, Bahobrua, you know, a lot has been revealed in this.
Yes.
And that's because of your advice as Electoral Commission.
Yes, that's what we did. But you see, some people do not take kindly to this. But anyway, I mean, that's beside the point. But the point we are making is that, look, look, I mean, I want to, Patrick, look at it this way. You won a genuine victory. The people voted for you, genuinely. You won with a wide margin. Your opponent goes to court and says, they cannot be the same. There must be something. And the court says yes. And your victory is annulled. All the resources, all the efforts you put in are put to waste.
In fact, that's why.
And yet, it could have taken you not even a half of what you would have spent in the first election, in the by-election, for you to put this right.
That's why some people say, you judges, your ways are not our ways. Because you can clearly see he's the one and the same, and somebody on a technical will say you go because here the law does not recognize you.
Absolutely.
So talking about, you know, the complaints and all that, how can I raise a question or a complaint or an objection relating to the nomination of a candidate?
First of all, like any complaint you take either to police or to the courts of law, you must have sufficient grounds for raising that complaint. Secondly, if someone has been nominated, you do not raise your complaint to the returning officer or nominating officer. No, his or her hands are tied. You raise your complaint to the commission of the 7 members. The commission headed by myself, my deputy, and the 5 other members. So you lodge your, now, then the commission under the law is supposed to sit as a quasi-judicial body.
Okay.
Listen to the complaint, listen to the party who is being complained against. Now, if we find there is merit in the complaint, the law allows us to denominate you, Patrick.
Denominate.
To denominate. And therefore remove you from the rest. And in your place, we allow the other person, if he has necessary qualifications, to take up the post, to get to join in the rest. So that's the law allows us that.
So in the previous, you know, like local councils, has something like that happened, or you're still into looking through the papers? And,
no, yeah, actually, we have already entertained some. We have entertained some nominations. I mean, some petitions arising out of the local council elections, and I think some decisions have been made, and some people I think have been denominated. I don't have the details, but some people have been nominated.
Okay.
Yeah.
So your office, the other time I checked, you were asking for more resources from Parliament, and at one time you actually went to the head of state. Yeah. I wonder whether now the money that you wanted for this very vital activity that determines our stability, our future, and, future and everything, yes, whether you have the resources like you asked for them.
Yeah, well, finance is making all efforts to ensure that we have the required resources. At least I can say that. We are not complaining. And you know, these electoral activities are in a phased manner. When we require resources for this, if we don't have it, we inform them that we require resources for this. I think so far they are trying their level best to ensure that we have the required resources.
All right. Mr. Chairman, if you could now just tell us just this one or two things that you think are very important for the activities that is going to happen tomorrow and Friday for Ugandans, and especially the aspirants to understand as they get into this exercise.
Thank you very much, Patrick. First of all, let us maintain peace and stability in our country. Secondly, let us obey and follow the SOPs. Let us observe the SOPs, because this pandemic apparently is really serious. It's really serious. So let us observe the SOPs. And thirdly, follow the guidelines we have put in place. We are not obstructing you or restricting you from exhibiting your popularity to all and sundry, but we are saying, in as much as that kind of act is likely to endanger your own life and the lives of those people who are supporting you, let us desist from that. Let us remember that we are doing all these things under this new normal, which is imposed upon us by the COVID-19. And finally, I want to assure the people of Uganda that the country is not going to end with the 2021 general elections. This country is still here. We are still here. Let us not fall into the temptation of saying this is a do or die affair. Either I live or they die. No. Please, there is more than election to this country, and I want us to maintain the serenity, the cohesiveness of the country. We may agree or disagree, we may disagree on political issues and so on, but one thing we should agree upon, that we all need peace, we all need stability, we all need a secure country where we can enjoy our lives, where we can carry out our normal day-to-day activities that improve our lives and the well-being of our country.
And lastly, by the way, this is very personal. Do you sometimes get a sense or a feel of the weight that is on your shoulders that will mean the stability of our country, the security of our country, the continuity of our democracy, and Uganda as we know it, in the next couple of months is solely on your shoulders and your commission members?
Yeah, sure, I do, but I take confidence from one fact, that very, very many Ugandans are interested in a stable and peaceful country. And in that context, therefore, I rely on their input, we rely on their cooperation and coordination. Many of these things we are talking of desisting or refraining from doing, we are appealing to the people of Uganda. So our confidence is premised on the fact that Ugandans need peace, they need stability. A Ugandan does not want to be disturbed. As they say, you come out of your home, go to town or to whichever place you work from, in an environment where you have no disruption, where you have no fear, where you will not lose your literal stock. So this is the kind of environment the people of Uganda want. And our appeal to them, our task is constantly remind them, remember what enables you on a day-to-day basis to carry out your activities. Is it elections? No, it is peace and stability. Because the elections are only for a while, but the peace and stability is for all days until we go to the next election. So they want to appeal to the people that working together with the commission, you give me, the people of Uganda give us the confidence as a commission that we are going to have a peaceful election. Some of these war cries, some people have been saying, we are going to die, you wait in this election, we are going to die, we may not be there. No, that's not going to happen, provided the people of Uganda say, no, we cannot have more bloodshed in our electoral processes. We want peace. We want the country to remain stable. We want the country to be on a path of continuity so that it grows from one level to another for the betterment of our lives and our children.
Thank you so much, my Lord Justice Simon Byabakama, the chairperson of the Independent Electoral Commission of Uganda. We want to thank you for your time. We want to appreciate your insights and your analysis, and want to appreciate your readiness for tomorrow's nomination of parliamentary candidates tomorrow and Friday. And we also want to take your words of advice to make sure that we do this in peace, follow the standard operating procedures, because we know we are under the pandemic, and for sure lives have been lost, livelihoods have been disrupted, so we need to do much more. I know the campaigns are going to begin, but we have a country called Uganda, and that's our home. We have a responsibility to keep it safe and secure for us, for our children, and for our children's children. Even when you disagree, you're not disagreeing because you hate your brother. I think because you love your country more. Good afternoon.
Thank you.